I still remember the last thing he said to me. Not the take care, or that I'll miss you. The last real thing. We were standing in Terminal E at Logan Airport. It was freezing outside, March wind slapping the windows, and inside, it was worse, that artificial brightness of airport lighting that makes everyone look a little sick, a little tired. Julian's flight to London was boarding in 20 minutes. He had 2 bags, one carry-on, one overstuffed suitcase that he'd somehow managed to cram his entire life into. I was holding a paper cup of coffee I didn't even remember buying. My hands were shaking, either from the caffeine or what was about to happen. Probably both. You'll write to me, right? I asked. My voice came out small. He looked at me, really looked, and I saw that familiar flicker of guilt in his eyes. The same one from the night he told me about the job offer. Like he knew this would happen all along. I'll try, Em, he said, but it's gonna get harder, not easier. You know that. That was Julian. Honest to a fault. Never made promises he couldn't keep. I nodded, even though I hated that answer. Even though I wanted him to lie. I wanted him to say, of course I'll write. Every day. Every night. Until we figured it out. But we both knew what this was. You could stay, I said, half joking, half begging. You could not go. Don't make me into the villain, he said quietly. You know this is what I've worked for. I know, I said. And I'm proud of you. I really am. I meant it. But my chest was on fire. For a second, we just stood there. The airport announcements blared above us, a delayed flight to Chicago, a lost item at Gate A5. Somewhere a kid was crying. Someone was laughing. And we were ending. I don't want to do this here, I whispered. He smiled, that same crooked smile that used to make me weak. We don't have a choice, Em. This is where we are. There was a pause. One of those pauses where time slows down just enough for you to feel your heart crack. Then he reached for me, pulled me into him. Not tightly, like he knew holding me too close would break both of us. I need time to figure things out, he murmured into my hair. I pulled back just slightly. Figure out what? I asked. He didn't answer. He just kissed my forehead like he always did, every morning, every night, and then turned toward the security line. He didn't look back. I watched him disappear into the crowd until the top of his head was gone, and then I just stood there. For a long time. Long enough for my coffee to go cold. Long enough for the lump in my throat to settle into something permanent. We didn't text. We didn't call. We didn't follow each other anymore on Instagram. I didn't even know if he stayed in London. I tried to move on, but part of me always stayed in that airport, watching him walk away. Boston looked the same. Or maybe I just hadn't changed enough to notice the differences. It was late October, the kind of crisp, golden afternoon that makes the city feel cinematic. Leaves everywhere. Brick sidewalks, and people in oversized scarves holding Trader Joe's bags. I had taken the Green Line back from work and decided to stop at this little wine bar on Tremont for a drink with Maya, my coworker, and lately, the only one who could drag me out on a weekday. I wasn't really feeling it. I'd had a long week. My head was still spinning from a meeting that went sideways, and I looked like I'd lost an argument with my closet. Big sweater, no makeup hair, and a claw clip. Come on, it's a blind date, not a job interview, Maya had said, laughing. He's a friend of a friend. Supposedly sweet. Divorced, 2 cats, into hiking. I'd groaned. You know I hate hiking. And cats. You also said you hate dating, and yet you agreed. I was weak and wine was involved. She just winked and pushed me inside the bar. The host led me to a small table near the window. Soft jazz played. The wine list was handwritten on craft paper. Very first date with potential energy. He was already there. Or at least, someone was. Dark navy coat. Book in hand. A glass of red in front of him. He looked up. I froze. No. This wasn't real. This wasn't happening. Not him. Emma, he said carefully. It was Julian. 5 years. And it was like my brain couldn't compute it. He looked older. In the best way. Slight creases at the corners of his eyes. A little stubble. Softer. Warmer. Realer. My heart actually skipped, like a stupid cliche. Julian, I said, almost laughing. Are you my blind date? He blinked. then let out this quiet, incredulous breath of a laugh. Well, damn, he said. Apparently, yeah. I sat down because standing felt dangerous. This is a joke, right? I said, looking around. Maya set this up. Did she know? He shook his head. No. I swear. My friend Eli set me up. Said you were a copywriter, kind of sarcastic, newly single. Said I'd like you. I snorted. You did like me. Once. More than once, he said. Silence. Heavy. Then light again. Wow, I whispered. This is insane. Unreal. The waitress came over, and we both ordered something just to not have to look at each other for a minute. Then he said it. Quietly, tentatively. You look good, Em. It hit me harder than I wanted. You too, I replied. I didn't recognize you at first. You, fill out a coat now. He laughed. That's either a compliment or an insult. I'll take it as a compliment. More silence. But this time, it felt like something was opening, not closing. I tilted my head. So, what happened after London? He sipped his wine. Life, he said. Work, burnout, came back 2 years ago. Started freelancing. Got married. Got divorced. Made peace with it. You. Stayed here. Dated a lawyer. Thought he'd propose. He didn't. Didn't hurt as much as it should have. He looked at me, softly. I'm sorry. I shrugged. I'm not. I think I was waiting on the wrong story to continue. And maybe I needed a plot twist. He smiled again, but this time it reached his eyes. Want to stay for dinner? I think I do, I said. But only if you promise not to bring up hiking or cats. Julian chuckled. Deal. Dinner turned into dessert. Dessert turned into 2 hours of stories, the kind you don't tell just anyone. Like how his dad had passed during the second lockdown, and he hadn't flown back in time. Like how I'd quit a job I thought I wanted because I couldn't stand waking up dreading Mondays. There was no flirting, no pressure, just talking. The way we used to, back when we were 2 kids eating takeout on my dorm bed, mapping out cities we wanted to live in. By the time we stepped out of the wine bar, Boston had changed. The wind had picked up. The air smelled like cold stone and leaves. Want me to call you a car? He asked, gently. I'm just around the corner, I said. But, thanks. We stood there awkwardly, not quite knowing what came next. I felt that familiar pull, the part of me that remembered the forehead kisses, the shared toothbrushes, the Sunday mornings in silence. He noticed. Of course he did. I wasn't ready back then, he said. I know. And I wasn't good at endings. You weren't. He breathed in, hands shoved in his coat pockets. I thought about you. More than I should have. I even walked past your old apartment once last year. You had a pumpkin on the windowsill. That wasn't me. I moved 3 years ago. He smiled. Well, some stranger had a very cute pumpkin. I hesitated. I thought you were gone for good. I thought I was too. We stood there, letting the silence stretch. Then, slowly, I stepped forward and reached for his hand. It was colder than I remembered, but it still fit into mine like it always had. This doesn't have to mean anything, I said. We don't owe each other a second chance. I know, he said, but maybe we owe each other a second conversation. I nodded. He walked me home. No kiss. No promises. Just steps. Side by side. In sync. The next morning, I texted Maya. You're never going to believe who my blind date was. She replied in all caps. Wait, what? I didn't answer. Instead, I texted Julian. Dinner again? He replied right away. Absolutely. But this time I'm picking the place.